Happy Halloween, my spooktacular specimens! 'Tis the spooky season, and I wanted to glance a glare at a topically relevant cadet here. So put your claws together for Titan's Return Grotusque.
Rodimus, quick! There's been an accident! The new Autobots are Monsterbot!
So Grotusque here is what is called a Monsterbot, and the original G1 toy was released alongside two other teammates, Double Cross and Repugnus. And I want to point out that I've already used the letter R 20 times in this review. Anyway, from 2016 through 2018, we got updated incarnations of the three Troubledoers. However, this guy, along with Repugnus, were exceedingly tricky to track down for many. So, look, I'm not trying to show off, but, you know, it is Halloween. I need something thematically appropriate. Now, taking a sharp peep at this sneaky sucker, it's packed to the brim with unconventionality. It's not every day you encounter a color scheme of white, gray, and harsh pink all fused together, but I'd argue they harmonize well here and results in something most memorable. I'm particularly drawn to the fact that they could have easily made the Monsterbot some Decepticon squad, but they didn't. No ma'am, this here is an Autobot. An Autobot with pointy, vaguely threatening bat wings. It adds a layer of dimension to them, and I appreciate it. I will say though, the faction symbol on his shoulder looks a bit like an afterthought, like it's mangled beyond repair, beyond hope. Aside from that though, the rest of the detailing throughout is sufficient enough, and he has it where he needs it. I admire the blocktastic box stacks that are his legs, and while it's not thoroughly ideal he's got half a tail hanging off his knees, they're tolerable. I particularly like how the feet look all stompy and robotic. So much has to be packed into them for the transformation, and while it's strange that he's just got some sideways monster claws poking out the back of his heels, I'd argue that sort of uncanny creature-esque body placement is fitting for a character of this caliber. Plus, it's better than his G1 toy where they were pasted on his sides haphazardly, a move I have grown to know as the Dinobot. You can position the scary wings to your liking, and he's got his alt mode head as a hoodie. Now, comparing him to a stack of some of my personal Diary of a Wimpy Kid volumes, you can see he measures up to around Cabin Fever and the Third Wheel, so standard deluxe height. But skedaddling to the head area, I find the sculpt to be noticeably no nonsense. The first line of this man's TF Wiki page is, "Grotusque laughs at life and everything in it, but his face looks like he's ready to punch a baby." I mean, I get it, but geez. Still though, it's all well sculpted and painted. And being a part of Titan's Return, you can pop off the head and transform it into this tiny fella, Fengull. Now I spent what felt like countless hours researching what that name actually meant, thinking it was some carried over Eastern European word, but no, it's just rearranged letters from the word engulf. God, this is interesting. But still, this small soldier's actually really enrapturing. He's got 5 colors, which for a Titan Master feels unprecedented. I also get a kick out of the walrus head he's sporting, even if the color looks too much like human skin. Overall, Fengull is a fun guy. The toy also comes with 2 guns, which look like standard 80s futuristic robot blasters. At least the paintwork does a good job bringing out the detail in the gaps. Plus, as per Titan's Return tradition, they can combine together and form a little handheld sled for Fengull to inhabit. Because why not? Or, here's the better question, why? Also included is this Titan Master Scorpenoc figure. Sure, let's throw this in too. This is actually pretty cool for what it is. It has a die-cast torso, so it feels noticeably weighty compared to the others. The Zarek robot form looks decent enough, and the Scorpenoc head mode is very recognizable and sinister. It's weird to think that this seriously used to be pretty much the generation Scorpenoc, but it allows me to live out my lifelong dream of finding out what Scorpenoc's head would look like if it was on Cup's body. In general, it's a good little inclusion and a nice bonus, even if it's not the main feature on display. But getting back to that main feature, this is a solid robot mode. It's unique enough to hold its own, and there's no mistaking it for the character. You know, if you're one of the 15 people who already know who Grotusque is. Now that's something truly scary to grapple with. The fear of being forgotten. Nibble on that for a while this Halloween. The transformation is about what you'd expect, but still very enjoyable. I appreciate how much retooling was achieved from the Twinferno mold to make something that looks so different. It's good, monstrous fun. And it all leads you with this freaky fella. So being a Monsterbot, this grotesque Grotusque malforms himself into this strange mishmash of various creaturous concepts, both abstract and otherwise. It looks like a combination of a gargoyle, the Jabberwock, a saber-toothed squirrel, and Grimlock. It makes for a very frightening, but nonetheless compelling alt mode. I adore the head here, like a creature of severe intensity, sealed off by the Grotusques. Also, you can make the mouth open. All the Titan's Return Monsterbots have this. It's great. So being a retool of Twinferno, it does mean he comes with only one tail instead of two, unlike his G1 figure. But are we really going to be blessed with a new toy of Grotusque? One that's otherwise so faithful to the source material? And let one little inaccuracy get in our way? Who do you take me for? But the weapons can attach to the back when pegged together. The result looks rather cool, and better than weapon alt mode integration usually goes, since this toy is already so weird. This mode also accentuates an admirable amount of articulation, with the arms and legs displaying a wide range of motion all around. You can even make him do a chicken kick. I think in terms of recreating this piece of late 80s far out unsubtle party explosion that defined this era of Transformers, I'd say this does about as good of a job as any. It's strangely cute in its own way, despite its ugliness, a bit like me, and all around makes for a pretty great little alt mode. But looking at the whole, this is as perfect a Grotusque toy as we could have wanted. Personally, I think it's amazing we even got a new version of this character to begin with. This is his first and so far only toy since 1987. And even though Transformers is currently doing great with giving a healthy dose of exposure to obscure or even new characters, I can't really see Grotusque coming back anytime soon. I mean, 30 years passed between his two toys, so ya know. Sure, he might not have the glamorous star power of Starscream, Bumblebee, or Cog, but that kind of makes the Monsterbots a bit special to me. They're little freaks coasting outside mainstream sensibilities and being their adorably creepy selves. You can't take the monster out of this, bot! So to all, please have a safe and happy Halloween. Boo.